In 536 AD, the Ilopango volcano in El Salvador erupted, unleashed all the pent-up turmoil that kept rising inside, turned it into clouds of ash and sulfuric acid, and pushed the people so far away, the land could not be called home by anyone anymore. In school, they teach us that a volcano is birthed from the swaying of tectonic plates, once made unstable when magma pushes up towards the crust. But did you know that they come alive when the fevered boot prints of the Spaniards plant hissing fissures in the ground? In 1524, they tried to construct a social pyramid, thought they could make a foundation on the backs of the Nahuatl natives and ignore the cracks breaking open in the structure. But in the 1980s, this man-made volcano exploded with political conflict, turned civil war, claimed over 75,000 lives, and pushed people so far away. A fourth of them would call it home, while they fled for refuge in foreign land. Ilopango's pain swallowed almost 80,000 fleeing bodies, but after its outburst, it sank, became the Ilopango caldera, open and full with lake water ripples instead of holding in lava. And El Salvador is still boiling over with fight against the legacy colonialism left behind, still pushing out smoke.
Street corner geniuses cut their teeth, pounding out dope beats on lunchroom tables, laying down the soundtrack of teenage angst being black and hood tales. Street corner geniuses disenfranchised the underclass of the underclass. The kids we saw but didn't hear till their cars ride by with the booming systems. Street corner geniuses could be academic scholars, but school to prison pipeline finds no value in witty banter, cynicism, and artful wordplay. Street corner geniuses turn hard times into breakbeats, raps out fantasy, manifest new life, new persona metaphorically. Street corner geniuses got no instruments, so they spit the bass lines, make the DJs cuts with their mouths. Street corner geniuses think fast on their feet, like Ali in his prime. They can boast themselves, make you laugh, and spit death in a rhyme. Quick wit and sharp tongue cut soldiers to the pink beat. Got bars like Hershey, no battle rap mercy. Street corner geniuses pour libations for dead homies, send shout outs to those doing bids. Gen Xers, lost souls, throwaway kids. Street corner geniuses, unlikely griots, living testaments, surviving turmoil. Proof that in this jungle, concrete is fertile soil.
March 27, 2009 was the day that I pulled out a knife on him. Because I knew the next time he hit me, one of us would have to die. And I now felt like it was his time to do a little dying, to do a little crying, to sacrifice his wealth for the enrichment of someone else. And if you ask me, I may tell you freely that I thought I loved him completely, but the only time I would feel his love is when he would beat me. Because his passion was in his rage, and his nurtures when he tried to play doctor and rearranged my face, but left me with a surgical scar that serves as a reminder to the fact he was able to punch me so hard that I flew over the couch and my face landed on the glass coffee table. Or how the presence of his own blood didn't deter him from drawing mine and causing me harm, because he still proceeded to punch me in my face as his infant nephew lay in my arms. And while he was giving me physical bruises, he also left me with emotional scars, and they say that I'll heal. Everything in due time. Well, maybe the judge should have given him a little more, because I still have nightmares, gasping for air of how he tried to cut short mine. And it was crazy how he could be so convincing, like he even had me thinking, well, maybe I fell and he didn't trip me, or maybe I bumped into the refrigerator and it did hit me, or how he would pour me with sob stories like, baby, I won't do it anymore. If that's the case, how could he be sorry for something he claims to not have done in the first place, telling his family that I beat myself up like I was the chick from a thin line between love and hate? But see, his hate for me would always cross the line, and my love for him would want, wish, and hope this would be the last time, but it never was. And just in case I was ever 100% convinced of his innocence, he'd always spark a new memory, because I still get inflamed when I hear his name. And wish the thoughts of him that I disseminate would disintegrate in total. But that's one thing about a memory. There's not enough lighter fluid in the world to burn a mental photo, because I can still smell him. Sweat mixed with liquor, mixed with depression, mixed with cigarette. The smell of oppression is one you could never forget, or the feeling of not even wanting to go home but to love your tormentor. Call it Stockholm Syndrome because I loved him. Or at least I thought so. But I couldn't even love myself enough to let him go, but I couldn't because he was my brown sugar babe. I got half his love and he didn't know how to behave. Mahogany misogyny, coffee-colored hands trying to permanently stain each tooth. Mocha melancholy trying to steal my youth. Sweet chocolate lies covering up my truth as ebony eyes were shielded by caramel eyelids from punches, because pain doesn't hurt as much when you can't see it coming. Bruises with rainbow-colored hues, because marks are a little harder to feel when you incorporate verbal abuse, because blood always comes out a little thicker when it's forced, and tears always taste a little saltier when they're yours, and sex always loses its pleasure when it's coerced, and dying feels a bit easier when you've been killed by someone you adore.
In my wildest dreams, I have mutilated myself into something beautiful. I transform this body into something I feel at home in and call it a resurrection. But in the mornings, I can still hear them. The ghosts of my former selves. All of the me's that I killed just to be here, and I wonder if it's stupid to be scared of haunting myself. All renovated house over ancient burial ground, but they are my bespoke nightmare. And my eyes do not close during the day, my mouth, all mausoleum and do not enter sign, my body, a crypt where we are all interred, each bone is a skeleton key in a graveyard I try desperately to keep locked up. My ghosts call me by my dead name, like a curse, like they are mocking me. Silly necromancer, they say. Don't you know that dead things belong in the ground? Don't you know that you should be a dead thing? They are not wrong. In another life, I used to slit my wrists open 5 days of the month and wonder if spilling this blood could substitute itself for the period that I would never have. In another life, I played chicken with some man who tried to lift up my skirt, and I didn't happen to have a knife in my purse. In another life, I swallowed all of the pills in my room when I realized I would never be pretty the way that I wanted to be. And in this life, all of these things are still the truth, and I just survived them anyways. The ghosts inside of me say, how will I ever truly be trans enough if I can't even die right? And this is what it's like to be trans like me. I am a would-be dead thing, killing itself over and over and over and keeping the bodies locked inside of me. I am a tomb of my former selves. All of the me's that I killed just to be here. A walking, talking, waking nightmare. But at night, when I can finally close my eyes, I dream I am a beautiful thing. I wonder if all monsters believe that they could be butterflies.
Rose of Jericho. I live with a woman who has earth in her hair. We walk the land together often, searching, seeking seeds and seedlings to take away, to take back as green bricks for the future we have promised to leave the children. I toil with a woman who has skies in her hair, long locks tangled by the breeze that sings while we blacken our hands turning the soil, as we sweat above the fire boiling 2B soap, in sunsets changing air to orange and rose. I swim with a woman who has ocean salts and fresh water in her hair, who calls fish to come and feed the ones we shelter. In the evening she bathes with me, and the river's laughter cleanses us. I love a woman who has fire in her hair, auburn tresses burning and age smoked as she closes the long day in my arms, as we carry each other forward in dreams, as she calls me to dance with her at dawn. Our lives are elementary. Our life, an amalgam of wishes whispered sweetly in an ear, hopes balancing fears with the aid of strength that is the sum of more than parts and partings. This is what romance becomes in the apocalypse.
As a matter of energy, what they can't sell, they remove, send back, mark down, marketed flawed, temporary, dispensable. They will spotlight your finest until they crack, or bright lights fade you. Remake you a simple copy of your own predecessors, recontextualize your canon, underpay to have it flipped for you. Praise and feed you to demons. The industry wants you broken. Keep the vibe. Predators don't scavenge grassroots culture, plant seeds, grow free. When they deny your growth, your rebirth, your remix, keep rocking. They label you fad, trend, relic. Keep rocking with the same seismic forces that break ground, break beats and old school rules. Bring the stars down to earth. Keep rocking. Blend beats and mixtapes like church ladies in the basement kitchen to feed parishioners. Find secret ingredients. Dig into the deepest crates. Pocket every penny for offspring. Hold integrity to your heart like the DJ's hands hold a clockwise place on the platter. We are timeless. We are the rock they cannot break if we don't let them. As long as there are 2 turntables, 2 or more speakers to tumble tunes across concrete in the name of making a name, as long as this name-making game is based on the rules of realism, originality, and building up and out, as long as we got homies willing to run up under cover of traffic and audacity with aerosol sweat from pores as they turn walls out from inside, as long as ancestors continue to whisper post-future hieroglyphic visions and whisper this alchemy of kissing the ground in order to defy gravity. We're the ones standing square, thousands of styles of elevation, magic at our fingertips, and daring you to come get some.
In many ways, I am still learning how to love myself. How to see myself as more than sinner whose soul is too singed to be saved, still learning that this body is a blossom and not a blasphemy. Last year, my fiancé gave me a ring, asked me to marry her. I said yes while we danced the night away, drenched in the downpour of our tears of joy. Marriage was never something I ever imagined possible for someone like me. Always seemed too foreign, too Hollywood, too happily ever after. When I told my mother, I saw her happiness recede to the back of her throat, as if she was trying to swallow the tidal wave of bile back to banish the thought that her firstborn had surely secured a spot in hell. I used to think she was so okay with me being gay. And I don't know if some part of her hoped that I would eventually phase out of the pits of Sodom and find my way into the saving grace of the arms of a man, that even though I brought women home and introduced them to her as lovers, the confirmation that she had a daughter who would marry someone else's daughter was too heavy a weight for her to carry, that the ring was the straw that broke the camel's back. I often wonder if because we were two of the same things trying to love in a world where people believed opposites must always attract, that the hope was that we would cancel each other out. Her rejection has caused me to keep my greatest happiness a secret. And instead of celebrating and rejoicing in the name of all this magic, I cowered in silence, as if the ground beneath my feet would crumble if my love was anything but quiet or secret that can only be safe indoors, that has to negotiate whether or not it should be itself in public. Self-acceptance is a practice. And every day I post her, I am stronger. Every day I am not afraid to love her openly. We defeat a great evil. Because every day we stand next to each other in public, our lives are at risk. And when we hold our hands in the street, someone who does not understand will look at us as if we're just two dirty homosexuals frolicking in the open, too freely for their comfort, too close for their children, too alive for them to be happy. But today, I care less. And tomorrow, I will care less more. My love deserves to be loud and free. And that's exactly what it's going to be.
Time for you. Hey, can we take out some time to talk? Now, I'm not saying that you're all talk, but you have been taught the power of thought, the powerful results of listening to those quiet taunts inside. Now, that isn't something to silence or just toss aside. I'll be noticing how you be saying all the right things. Self-love this and positive vibes that, but I just gotta ask, when was the last time that you actually had that? I mean, when was the last time that you leveled up and kept your levels up, let yourself be led to love and still left enough for yourself to love? Are you saying what you mean, queen, or have you just become the meme queen, the pretend things are good by any means queen, or do you actually live by these things, queen? Now, I can't play judge to you. Trust me, I get no satisfaction from judging you. Yet I notice how you always seem to stretch yourself for others, but nobody ever seems to adjust for you. Now, maybe it's just in you to never check on you or to give to everybody else what's addressed for you. And this is just my view. Maybe my perspective is just skewed, so I'm asking you to clear it up. Because you don't seem to be cheered up enough. And I know that you deserve that. I really think you just need to get your nerve back. I know you've already heard that. But where are the actions behind the words at? Nobody should ever commit the crime of trying to take what's aligned to you. But you can't keep passing out the greatness that's assigned to you. Standing in your purpose is where your peace lives in truth. The people around you keep getting bigger while you're shrinking because they're all eating pieces of you. That can't be pleasing to you. I'm only asking you to take some time. Stop thinking folks have the right to steal your light so they can shine. You were born bright, love. You glow in the daytime. Imagine what's going to happen when you finally take the time to put yourself and your mental health first. You're already impregnated with your purpose. Wait until you see what you birth. Wait until you get introduced to your worth. Don't you know that your womb holds earth? That you create life right when life hurts the worst? It's okay to love on others, but you got to save some love for you too. Nobody needs you more than you do. Don't keep loving on energy that's abusing you. Do you want to know why your choices as of late haven't been that great? Well, I want you to think about how much energy you create every time it comes down to choosing you. I only want to speak truth to you. There's so much truth in you, but you can't be on time for everybody else and then be truant for you. Self-love is the start love. But now it's time to understand the meaning. The next time you speak your affirmations, I need you to say it like you mean it. Your divine purpose can't wait for you to meet it. It's time for you to receive what you know and believe is designed for you. You out here watching the clock when all you really know and need to know is that it's time for you.
Hello everyone, I'm Barbara Marie Minney, and I'm going to read a poem from my collection, If There's No Heaven, that was the winner of the 2020 Poetry is Life Book Award, and also was listed by the Akron Beacon Journal as one of the best Northeast Ohio books in 2020. The name of the poem is Bubble Wrap. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, raw and exposed, arms wrapped tightly around my body, giving myself a hug. There's no one else around to do it. Searching for words of comfort that will clothe my naked emotions, lost somewhere in the fogginess of my brain. All I hear is, it is never enough. I am never enough. The past is never really past, especially the mistakes, haunting the halls of my mind long after they were made, or used like a war club, beating myself to a bloody pulp. Being hard on myself does not make me a better person, only defeated more. All I hear is, it is never enough. I am never enough. I have gone far beyond what my father thought I could. Doing my best was never good enough. Sometimes I dreamed of being perfect, but even that is not enough. Lying in bed in the dark, trying to go to sleep, mind racing like a hamster on a running wheel. When she reaches for my hand and tells me she loves me, my first thought is why? How could anyone love me? All I hear is, it is never enough. I am never enough. I should swaddle myself in bubble wrap as protection against the world, but that would do no good. I would still be trapped with my own worst enemy in a cocoon of my own making, telling me it is never enough. I am never enough. I'm not even good enough to be trans with what I still have dangling between my legs. It is better to keep hidden so that I can live my life. If there's no heaven, it's all a waste of time anyway. I have found not caring anymore to sometimes be liberating. Thank you so much for listening.
Where I come from, pastors and pimps, it ain't no difference. Taken from the folks who choose to hope, I ask you what's the difference? Hole in the stroll, parishioner on the road. We can make excuses, but the facts still remain. Folks is hoping for a future and hope still want change. See, it's all the same, everybody want better. And you act like you ain't in it for the check. Please, tell me what the difference is when they both wear suits trying to get 1% of my dividends. Whether it's 10% of the whole thing, it's a control thing. Pimps don't want to see you go and pastors hate to see you leave. They hope you insecure and afraid to spread your own wings. Yeah, they banking on that. I mean, they banking on that. You really think they love you, huh? Like they gonna help you out your struggle, huh? I love to do it, so I gotta burst your bubble, find myself in trouble. Nowadays, folks are so afraid to think. But if someone has to do it, why not me? Why not you? They some foul dudes, got you stuck in a cycle designed by white folks, never getting to your point because they don't want you to grow. They rather give you hope. What is that? But a figment of one's own imagination. We still took it and ran with it and spread it all over the plantation. It's an infectious disease. We traded what we've known for something to believe. Forever on our knees, you see it's the same posture. Both trying to please papas, slick pimps and job pastors. Y'all need your ass when we be getting the ass kicked. Right now, not past tense, I'm past tense. I'm passionate about my people. How is there a difference between pastors and pimps if all men were created equal?
The title of this poem is called Ghosts. Unspoken words bouncing back and forth in your mind like what you really want to say during an argument, but don't, then do, then regret it. Unfulfilled dreams, I awoke to I told you so. Broken promises, I will love you forever, just not today. Idle freedom, one day. Never mind. So why did you bring it up? Doubtful thoughts. Why don't you believe in yourself? Everyone else does. Or do they? A soul without souls. Motivation sold. A life left unlived. Potential. Dead. Cold. Dying. Forgotten by the world. Who is worthy to remember you? Living with a purpose. I am a blank piece of paper. begging for a poem. Thank you.
That right there, you're in the middle of the world, man. Have you ever wondered why you can float in the ocean? The salt in the water makes it more dense than the average person, so we float. Spread eagle across the ocean's smooth scout, staring up at a blue-tinted mirror, wondering what's past it. Try to orbit Earth, become moon, transform to a heavenly body, emulate their weightlessness. Massive Jupiter pirouettes round the galactic dance floor. Elegant titans. Become like the stars. You know, when we cry, it's salt water too. I guess that's why they well up so easily. Joy and sorrow. Spread eagle across the tear smooth scout, staring up at a man-shaped moon, wondering why they had to leave his eyes. Turn to meteors of water, they will crash against hands, chests, shoulders. Good friends. I've never been too far from the edge of something. Never been a fan of skydiving or free falling. Blind faith has never been a part of my doctrine. Prayers just spells that forgot their magic, but if I could float in the middle of the world, learn what it's like to let my burden sink to the depths. Earth's water made holy font, baptized by the stars, reborn a child of the universe. I could never feel more free.
I held myself captive for years. Trapped within darkness, this little light of mine didn't shine. My voice, hushed within personal insecurities passed down by society. Daddy Longlegs blessed me with a stature considered intimidating. Thicknesses of these lips and hips are frequently frowned upon. Consistently defending the beautiful brown I was born with, cognac hues fashioned as a safeguard remain on the front line for those who take offense. Above average intellect, terrified below average wit. Dumb and Dumber knocked my block off for the last time. Then I realized I got to get comfortable living in the skin I'm in. I can only be me. I had to step outside the box to live in color, proud and out loud, no longer slave to shade thrown by societal suggestions, no more wallowing in silence. My pen became my siren and sword. I pushed poems like weight, writing past pain on paper which covered my will, which was hard as rock, cut through all the mess with scissors before rock cried out, "It's time to escape!" Keys used in the prison break left indentations on my hands before being released from his death grip. The lone abductor, the alleys of my mind. Blinded by a so-called flawless culture, I met myself for the very first time. The first time ever I saw my face. There I was, tall, dark, and handsome, smart, thicker than a snicker. Finally, I fell in love with me. Physical attributes may permit descending gazes towards those threatened by altitude. I vowed to encourage my people because the only time you should look down on a man is when you're picking him up. Overweight lovers are frequently shunned by jealous flatbacks who pay for butt shots and lip lifts, but I don't think they're ready for this jelly. It's party time, it's celebration of life, so let's jam. The skin color is a blessing, deceptively labeled curse. Tides will one day return to an era when we were Adam and Eve, kings and queens, rulers of peaceful civilizations. Knick-knack, paddywhack, give us back our bones. Let haters hate while naysayers negate. You control your fate. Thank your old self for bringing you through. Be content with who you are. Strive for better to ensure you'll become someone you can tolerate the rest of your days. Open your eyes. Look in the mirror. Love on your reflection. If you can't do that, do you expect anyone else will? If you've never appreciated you, the next time you actually see yourself, I hope it will be the first time ever you saw your face, your face, your face, your face. One single rose, no stem. And you can find me on all social media platforms as One Single Rose. That's ONE Single Rose, or go to onesinglerose.com. Be blessed, be safe, and I'm sending you love. Self-love. Thank you.
If I could write you, to the one who left me paralyzed, today rage is my greatest companion. I want you to know what a fucking bitch you are. To me, you no longer have hands, and I hope you fall in your own shit. Because of you, I haven't slept in 20 years. Screams echo every corner of darkness. Right now, you probably think I am a terrible person, planning to tell me I am selfish. Shove it. There is no more room for your low blow antics. Hold your tongue before it molds from your deception. I remember how you made me feel. Truth is a motherfucker. I have joined forces with the underworld. You cannot rule me anymore. Now you have seen my fire, know my emptiness. To every precious celebration, you are uninvited. I won't have joy sucked out of my life just because you are a should-be. When I finally tell the truth, I will share a cake with destiny. When I marry, I will weep for what I never had and rejoice because you aren't there. I learned to brush my hair at 6, quit asking for Band-Aids at 5, and pretended I could not hear you breathe beside me. By 8, I gave away all of my dress-up clothes, collected rocks and feathers, built my own foundations, and fashioned wings to fly away. Over the years, I will still be jealous of mother-daughter dates, struggle with fear when I hold my babies, and wish I didn't tremble every time she hugs me. I learned to live without you while you hovered over me. Now I am free. I will honor crawling and learn to stand. Don't think you have taught me nothing. I know exactly who I am. You have shown me everything not to be. Some days, I still clip the skin off my hands because I desperately want you to hold me. But I have wasted so much time rolling in vomit. Let me relish your tears. Don't sing me lullabies and never say I'm beautiful. I remember my favorite snack is peanut butter on a spoon. I love to swing. Complaining is my vice, and roses smell the best. We are so much alike. Hating you feels like hating myself. So for now, let's light the shadows, walk away from all this blood, and call it even. Sincerely, the one who used to protect you.
The world's greatest magic trick performed before your eyes. Houdini shocked the world when he once made a single elephant seemingly vanish into thin air, while we make 7 million animals disappear every hour. A word of caution, in our act there will be no escape. Our assistance will be sawed in half. But the magic lies in convincing you not to care. A pig goes into our top hat and you ooh and ah as presto we pull sausages out. The sleight of hand, the disappearing act. We make the blood disappear, misdirection, bacon. We make their life disappear, misdirection, a smiling cartoon of our victim, assistant. With a tap of the wand and a few flashy words like abracadabra and alakazam and farm fresh and certified humane, you now see only product, only dinner. With a little hocus pocus, we convinced you to rename our death machine love. Misdirection, a small red barn. Misdirection, we always keep your eyes on your belly. We saw the animals in half, and you never even demand we put them back together. Angled mirrors become unnecessary when your audience gladly looks the other way.
I'm at that age where I appreciate every sunrise, sunset, and all the hours in between. The age that causes me to notice the rhythmic timing of each breath. A reminder to thank God for granting me another day. I'm at that age where joints begin to stiffen and maybe I don't move as fluently as I did at 22. But I'm also at that age where I realize many didn't even get to see today. So I pray on bent and aching knee, thank you, God, for blessing me. I'm at that age where I notice my kids making some of the same mistakes that I did. And I remind myself that although never easy, I made it through and so will they. I'm at that age where I understand that money never buys true happiness. But I'm also at that age where I understand it definitely does help to have a bit. I'm at that age where six-pack abs still attract. But I'm also at that age where the behavior of a true gentleman will stop me in my tracks. I'm at that age where I know what it means to be a woman alone with how to treat my man. Beginning with listening as he explains what he needs from me. You see, there may be many similarities, but all men are not the same. I'm at that age where I realize good things don't come to those who wait. They go to those who educate, plan, sacrifice, work, and repeat over and over and over again. I'm at that age where I appreciate spending time with family, whether we're on good terms or not. Because I'm at that age where I'm losing so many people that I care about. I'm at that age where I'm bearing down on that age where there are more chapters of my life in past instead of future tense. But I'm at that age where I refuse to give up. I continue to climb, to create, to improve, love, and share, bearing my soul to the universe while honoring my ancestors, my God, and myself, while becoming the best version of me possible. because I'm at that age.
Hi, my name's Pierre, and this poem's called Everything. I flee the superhighway, search the byways for my purpose. Time to think me's facing trauma. Can I face my anxiety alone? I call an old friend. She says go to the mountain. The answers come when you ascend. But can I become the mountain and endure eternally? Mountains root between moments. Each peak stands alone. Together we form a range. Awe-inspiring, beautiful, and uplifting. Yet one peak soars inimitably higher, her summit tortuously crevassed. Last winter snow fell 20 feet. Storms shake the fire tower. From the peak lightning strobes. The chair's glass feet keep me from frying. Can't move till there's peace. Parting clouds reveal Earth's majesty. Bedecked in yellow aster and wild blue gentian. Paradise must be named for the color of light. From the mossy stones marmots are trilling. The path I ascend ends at Paradise Glacier. Past the ridge is Tahoma's caldera. A vast ice-filled crater that's miles across, all that stands between me and the summit. Walk Antarctic ice, and you won't meet a soul. May's sunset doesn't rise till July. The sky brushed with purple heralds peaks painted pink. Won't forget my first Antarctic dawn. The memory of ice subsumed in gold fire will ignite the coldest heart of darkness. Up here, it's Rainier's superluminal power. Deep blue skies make the sun feel closer. Rocks and me are the only things I see for miles. I move like the wind's silent partner. Light of foot, sure of step, and in wonder. No clouds intercept my magnificent view of the peaks Helen's, Baker, and Shasta. They range across 600 miles. Eagle Mountain I see it all. Birch bonsai cling to gravel, tiny branches wind bent, leaves fluoresce a most brilliant green. Stones shift, so walk confidently. What is time here? A millennium won't budge this boulder. But Rainier is alive. She's an active volcano. What's sure in life except my vulnerability? Underneath her cool crust is hot lava. What if today is the day she erupts? She'd shake me off like a dog shakes off water. That's why this transitory moment has particular significance. I hold space for the water and sky. Where they meet, I drink glacial snowmelt, long before it will quench others' thirst. Is isolation a prison or freedom? I ask no one. I'm alone on the edge of the earth. Silence rules in the realm of great nothing, supreme. Summit guarded by sleepy rock giants. Legend has it their dreams become real. But the summit's high journey is measured in miles. I turn back to the ephemeral, known, and mundane. Sublime twilled in the everyday. Our ascension to beauty brings magnificent views. We can look beyond selfly endeavor to act, from intent born of wider compassion. We will gather again. I descend through the flowers, past redwood and sequoia, work together and we are a forest. United, we will build ecotopia. Right now, we take orders on the nuclear sub. I pray one day hope will resurface. Until then, how do I make the best of seclusion? I write lists and make sketches, because one thing is sure. Everything I want to do with my life starts today. Thank you.
hybrid. We all were made for expression. That's why I be catching these feelings. Catching feelings. Spoken word. Let it rain. There are levels to my sentient nature. Layers upon layers of testosterone laminated endorphins that emit and radiate vibes, pulses of awareness, multifariously blended with aromatase to counterbalance my macho chi, stabilize my chakra, alignment of the seventh parallel, placing me in a dimension, causing me to feel. This man of color I am, human I stand, on currents of passion, cry tears everlasting, gut busted, twisted from laughing, rage, remorse to ridicule. I'm emotional. Sights, smells, sounds, sensations so profound. And yea, though I walk through the shadows of my doubt, for it's a struggle within and a struggle without. Yet juvenescent joy is laid about my path. Still, I stumble over frustration, tussle with confusion, interventions and intrusion, bewildered by the bravery put in me to endure the wickedness of collusion. Yes, my head hurts from squinted eyes, trying to block the glare of illusions, for it is only false evidence appearing real. I say fear is false evidence appearing real, merely a facade, a veil worn to cover the face of temptation, lurking with the intent to steal your heart, casting it into incarceration, locked down, dropped down, submerged beneath guilt and grief, burrowing through misconceptions and disbeliefs, mind, body, soul bequeathed. I touch a page in the book of life, Braille. I scream in the fight for my dreams, I yell, which tip the scale, held in the hands of the Bakra, slave driver, oppressor, yes sir. These feelings, they fester, so I rebuke and release pressure. I'm emotional. Catching all with me for expression. That's why I be catching these feelings.
If I was meant to be controlled, I would have come with a remote. Not meant to be directed. This is not a movie. I do not fit the script. I am different as was intended. I don't wear skirts to my ankles or curtsy in the presence of men. I don't giggle behind beautiful fans. I show my teeth. Dare to bear them in a full smile. I laugh hard and loud. My physique does not allow for dainty. I am tall, my legs rival the length of the Nile, my bosom is generous to say the least, so I tend to be eye-catching, but it is not my fault that you choose to stare. My face is pierced with more than jewelry. There is a look to it, sometimes menacing, sometimes just mistaken. They say resting bitch face. I suppose that's the case. But in any event, I do not behave as they say I should. I do not understand the phrase a woman's place because I'm a woman no matter what place I choose to step foot in. I grew up and was called tomboy, even in a dress, because I'm aggressive, opinionated, especially about ideas that are outdated. When you tell me that I can't because you feel that I shouldn't, you don't see the difference in what you think and what I know. I am a woman, female, made of iron, steel, Strong, try to break me, still strong.
Let's congratulate ourselves, for we have, I'm sure you'll agree, have got a little more than some say. We can vote, command a steering wheel, sometimes a battalion, travel without a guardian or permission. Many are free to embrace motherhood, or not, that's a choice too. But we have congratulated ourselves too much. For we have left many, many and many of our sisters from other species stuck in the swamp. Left them shackled to sheds, farms, mills, places darker than dungeons, creepier than haunted will, corners colder than an assassin's abysmal core, where humans, scarier than predators, prowl, penetrate with brute force their sacred wombs, no matter how much they howl, pierce their maternal hearts, coerce them to carry and nurture the seed for many moons. Prodded and paraded to milking booths in spades, glued to gestation crates, packed into wiry cage. Not long before, they are skinned, sliced, sucked, stripped of every choice. Let's congratulate ourselves, for we have climbed some treacherous heights. But not too much, for our sisters have been stranded on barren mounds.
Dear poetry, I am grateful you're still here. At times I almost gave up on you, searched for the wrong things, financial gain, as if this stage wasn't enough reward to share and help others heal from their pain. I wrote so many stories with you, survived prison with you, family, friends dying, my pen flowed effortlessly, writing grief away. I acted as if I didn't need you in order to breathe. Each day I forgot, I almost caved, watching news stories, horrific endings of a man's life underneath a man's knee, unable to breathe, repeatedly ignoring his plea in front of witnesses. Without mercy, I wrote stories, energy needed lines, knowing that could have been me, my skin the same, my struggle no different, my family's fear no less. I wrote as a defense, our hands up ain't enough. I love you, poetry. It's because of you, my gift from God, that I haven't given up. Peace, y'all.
The trick to healing is allowing myself to be saved by the feet under my own body. Listening means shutting up the drown of city lights and country days to hear the blood glistening in my own veins, trust the pulse of my own wrist over the machine that tells me it is faltering. I allow my story to blister into roses, dahlias, and daisies. I can handle anything. This war I've been through, my body a battlefield under a remembrance sign. Do you remember the times I could have died? But look, I'm still shining. Look, I'm still climbing. Look, I've got dreams and aspirations. Listen, just because someone tells you one way is not good or healthy, if it's your path, you best not go any other way unless you want to give your dreams to someone else to carry. If you allow someone else to determine your existence, you allow them to become your greatest enemy. Look inside. See the heart beating. The rhythm is yours. The rhythm speaks and beats. Only you can drop friendships. You can make this world is a treasure map of people helping. No one's a victim here, or stays one at least. It's time to start rising. It's time to start again. Our sweet souls emerging can be fanned into a flame large enough to burn this whole city. Let it be the breath we breathe. No one else houses our dreams. They are ours for the unveiling. They won't be mirrored until we unwrap and place them in the crook of our arms like our own babies. Everyone in this nation has daddy issues, looking for someone to save them, hold them, when the hero is nestled in the strings of their own chest, nestled in where safety is not a test, but a simple knowing that trees give canopy whether or not we planted or watered the acorns to leaf. What would we do if we knew we could not fail? If we knew no one else's opinions mattered? What if being who we are is not a fight, but a simple act of taking one more breath, living, stepping into the light of the sun emanating from our own chests, the patter of rain under trees in our own breasts? What if the way to healing is taking one step forward and trusting the ground to hold you with each step forward?
On my last date with a woman, I swear I did everything right. Made her smile, made her laugh. Then she said, Akeem, tonight when I fuck you, I'ma break you. She thought this was sexy. She did not know about those in my childhood that have succeeded at this task. A woman that made me taste her blood, a man that made me bleed adults, whose idea of sexy was exorcism me, a lifeless sacrifice that wanted me to record their acts of hell written in goosebumps like braille sprawled across my collarbone. Adults that wanted my soul to vacation my body and never come back until after they came in the morning. You want to know how to break me? Says the shattered bones to the car crash, the broken levee to the hurricane, this broken man to his date. You cannot break someone that has felt hell quake in his skin, and yet he's forced to walk around as if nothing is wrong. So I finished my glass of wine, gained the liquid courage to tell her that I'm a survivor of child molestation and that she got me messed up. In fact, waiter, can you please hand me my check?
After Desiree Della Giacomo. One side of an ongoing conversation with Alexa, the only therapist I can afford. Alexa, look up therapists in my area. Alexa, look up affordable therapists in my area. Alexa, how much is a therapy hour supposed to cost? Alexa, look up income-based therapy. Alexa, look up sliding scale therapy. Alexa, how much is 20% of $260? Alexa, look up food pantries in my area. Alexa, look up bill assistance in my area. Alexa, how do people save money when everything lives on a seam? Alexa, look up budgeting apps. Alexa, look up articles on financial stability. Alexa, pull up my 401k balance. Alexa, look up side work for chronically ill people. Alexa, look up side work. Alexa, who is the greatest juggler of all time? How much could they keep spinning before they renamed themselves after the tinkle crash of their own salty human fingers? Alexa, why do they tell you to get help if that help lives on the highest shelf? Why do they never come with ladders? Why do they tell you to reach out when all you need is someone to reach in? Alexa, people make recovery sound like a new dress, like you aren't bloody underneath. Everyone wants to admire the wound, but no one wants to triage it. Alexa, what will the weather be like tomorrow? Not out there, but in me. Alexa, when do you know you've become your mother? Is it when you see her face or her disease staring back in your mirror? Alexa, does it get better? Alexa, how much therapy can I get for a month of rent? For an ovary? Enough to cure my weeping mind of its dysthymic rhythm? Alexa, what if therapy doesn't work? What if I sell everything that's ever bore my name, and at the end of it, all I have to call my own is this grief, Alexa? Why doesn't my brain make things right? A defunct factory, all assembly line and no product, Alexa. What does dopamine taste like without the wound? Alexa, how can I magic 1 month's meds into 2? Alexa, where can I buy SSRIs on the internet? Alexa, look up free clinics near me. Alexa, look up community medication management. Alexa, look up government assistance programs. Alexa, I am so tired. Alexa, how many nights can I go without sleeping? Alexa, how many muscle groups can scream in unison before my whole body is audible? Alexa, is this it? Is this how it's always going to be? Alexa, look up best way to disappear. Alexa, look up fastest way to disappear. Alexa, look up cheapest way to disappear.
Spring.